All right. So sorry, guys. There was small technical glitch that had happened, which caused a delay. So sorry about that. Let me just quickly take you through a couple of more images, give you a small idea how club photography scene works. So if you can see the current picture over here, it was something which was shot long ago. I think, as far as I remember, it must be somewhere around 4 5 years back. A very famous artist, that is Ritviz. You guys must be aware. Again, so that is what, as I was saying, it's very important to respect the space of the artist who is performing, right? You can't just be on his face or of the of the entire gig. Again, looking at the picture, you must be aware that there's a single source of light, and it becomes very difficult to actually shoot in such conditions. One, you should either have a camera which has the best possible light, ISO, or rather best possible lens. But just to amaze you guys, this was shot with a D3100 long back, crop censored camera, but then turned out brilliantly. Taking you to another set of pictures. Give me 1 second, guys. I'll just show you other pictures. Guys, so sorry. I think we are losing out on time. So what I'll do is I'll take you to the next section. Uh, 1 second. All right. Okay. So again, one of the frequently asked question that always I end up being asked is, how did you get into this scene, right? So this entire scene purely started as another thing. When a friend of mine asked me if I can, come over and cover his gig. And then again, it was so brilliant that there was no turning back after that. And also, music is something that has always driven me, and it is a huge part of my life. So when you talk about the music industry or how things work, it comes to shooting each and every event. There are major elements which are involved in this, right? I work with a number of different people in the ecosystem, but then there are three most important, gatekeepers. Those are the managers of the band, publicist of the band, and promoter of the club. So if you have the right access or the right contacts, you can easily get that required break. I'll just take you through few images which were shot. All right, 1 second. In a festival zone. Okay. All right. So this image was shot during one of the festival which was held in Pune. Again, something which you can see there's a lot happening in the image. A lot of people, or rather the lights and all of that. It's again very challenging but fun at the same time, right? Again, even whenever I look at these pictures, it just drives me crazy. And again, the stage are so massive, and the overall experience is different altogether. Another image which I shot couple of years back. Here you can see a very brilliant, light setup as well as the stage setup. A lot of action happening. The DJ console is behind, and it's equally important that you have to make sure that you are everywhere possible, right? It's just not about clicking pictures. behind the DJ or the console, but it's more about clicking pictures throughout the festival, right? Again, when I say throughout the festival, it includes major things, right? Major elements. For example, again, you might be seeing couple of dancers and all of that which are on the stage. It's very necessary to actually capture those elements as well, because again, when you are shooting a festival, you can be shooting a festival for multiple elements, right? It can be for the artist, it can be for the festival itself, or it can be the brand which is sponsoring it, right? So there are various requirements for each of these elements. All right, so if at all you're shooting for the festival itself, they want to cover the entire festive vibe. That includes smallest thing as a chair which is being kept in the chill out zone, or where people generally hang out or enjoy their drink, right? So again, there is a lot of merchandising which is there, and also you have to make sure that all of this is captured properly. Again, moving on to few other images. I'll just, 1 second. Yeah, I hope everybody is able to see my screen. There you go. Again, one of my favorite images, which I shot during Supersonic. I think this was 2018, when they had a huge setup, and the stage was also named pretty fancily. And as you can see, there's tons of lighting and tons of lasers and LEDs being placed throughout. Again, one of the most important part that you need to keep in your mind when you're shooting such festivals is your camera sensor, right? You have to make sure that lasers and all of that don't hit your sensor, or else there have been experiences with me and couple of my friends who were shooting during the festival, completely losing out their sensors, right? The lights are so bright, even a single laser can ruin the entire camera. There was this one incident right during this festival. The festival was for good 2 or 3 days. Again, pretty extensive schedules you have. It sounds fancy, it sounds so cool, but then it's really not that simple, right? The festival generally starts somewhere around in the afternoon, say around 4 o'clock, and goes up till 10:30, 11. And you also have after parties, right? Where if at all you're shooting from a brand's end who is sponsoring it, you have to make sure that you're covering each and every stage out there where the sponsors badges are there, and also cover the after parties. After parties usually go around till 4 o'clock in the morning, right? And the requirements are so on point that you have to submit the images right next day after the shoot. So there have been instances where I have shot entire festival, that is right from 4 o'clock, covered all the possible stages out there, uh, ended up at an after party, and also made sure all the images were captured there and then. After finishing that, I think that got over at 4 o'clock. I got back to my room, started editing. Had to My deadline was 8 a.m. in the morning. Took 4 hours, edited all the images, and sent it across. So it's more of again a different kind of fun. I'll take you to a few more other images which I have shot. As I was just mentioning, the elements which you need to cover. There's a very beautiful shot which again is my favorite. 1 second. Yeah, there you go. Right. So there's confetti happening all around. There's Indian flag, and people are just going bonkers. Looking at the entire vibe. Right. So you have to make sure that you capture small details possible that adds on value to images which you click. Right. Again, there was one time where somebody asked me, how come you managed to end up getting so many ideas, or rather how do you actually get that break, right? So I have just one thing to tell you. It's just about persistence and constant practice, right? Again, it's pretty difficult to have such festivals more frequently in the year. No, it is once or twice in a year, but again, there are a couple of music festivals in India. But club gigs are some place where you can actually go out there, just buy a ticket, or maybe request the pub or the club to just go ahead and create your profile or whatever it is, right? So again, that is what, right, when I was mentioning, you have to be you have to have that perspective. Again, that comes from your entire study, maybe referring to various books on photography, or it can, again, there are a lot of so thankfully, thanks to internet and thanks to Instagram, you can actually check out work of other photographers who are into a similar frame and get an idea that how things actually work. There are a lot of brilliant films out there which have been completely dedicated to concert photography. You should definitely check it out. I think we are less on time, so I'll share a couple of more images before we sign off, or rather, we'll take a Q&A session as well. There's one image which I really like. Give me 1 minute. Yeah. So this was a band which I shot last year. The band's name is Fire 333, and as the name says it, Fire 333. It was exactly that, explosive. These guys ended up climbing the stage and blowing the entire crowd by it was something which was totally overwhelming. Again, uh, coming back to the topic of how you can actually get into this, or rather a career in music photography. So most music photographers start out as an intern or by contributing photos to blogs for free. So the advancement would come in form of getting paid more money per shot or per event. Advancement also means establishing a name and reputation as a talented and in-demand photographer. Since the majority of photographers are freelancers, getting hired as a regular photographer for a venue or publication could also represent a step forward. Concert photography is not at all easy business. As I just mentioned, it's really difficult to make a living out of it. There is no set amount of what someone can make, as if you are savvy, creative, and adaptive, then sky is the limit. Um, Again, second most frequently question asked is what skills or education is required to get into this field. If you honestly ask me, I would say constant practice, as I just mentioned some time back, and patience are the two key to becoming successful. But for anyone seeking a conventional answer to this, here you go. It's more about understanding how to work with a professional or a semi-professional camera. This includes shooting in manual mode and understanding the light and exposure. Knowing which lens and which gear are ideal for shooting in different environment, and also a bit of knowledge of Adobe Photoshop and Lightroom. Um, so besides the obvious photographing musicians, I think music photography is also about capturing an artist's sound in an image. I hope, looking at the current pandemic situation, it's a tough situation for everyone. I hope things settle down soon, and we can head back to shooting again. I think we are pretty low on time, so let's do a quick Q&A session before I sign off. Any questions, you can just hit me up, and I'm more than happy to take them up. Okay, I'll do one thing. I'll show you a couple of more images which I shot. Okay, 1 second. Uh, this was another interesting image which I shot during 2019. Yeah, I think it was last year during the Supersonic Festival. Again, a brilliant band, as well as the entire lighting setup was so brilliant. I could manage to capture the artist you know uh, in his own zone where he was all into it. Couple of more images. 1 second. This is the same band which I was referring some time back, Fever 333. So if you can actually look at the entire setup, the drummer back there, he literally jumped into the crowd. So it was that mad. So you have to be always ready to capture these small things that and again you never know what can hit you, right? So something which I personally feel has a lot of scope here, and people should definitely start exploring this genre of photography, because not many people are actually aware that there is something known as concert photography. But then yes, I think it's high time that people should actually start acknowledging such different genres. Again, one more image which is my all-time favorite. It is a picture of Pratik Kuhad. You must be aware. Again, a very simple lighting setup. The vibe was so great. I still get goosebumps whenever I look at this picture. Uh, Again, a very soulful image. Something where you know it's just that you have to feel the entire aura, or rather the scene, to capture such beautiful images. So it's just not about photographing images, but it's more about living that moment. Okay, let me see if I. Okay, there is one question which I have had. How do you overcome the challenge of continuously changing the light and white balance? Yeah, this is one of the very challenging thing when you're actually shooting in an environment where the lights are constantly changing. So again, it's just about going ahead and uh, selecting a setting where again it comes completely after a lot of practice and understanding the environment. So whenever you are there in the scene, so you understand where all the lighting setups are there in place, right? And then you just get into your camera settings and set a white balance thing, which is more or less on a neutral front, where it won't actually impact the overall scene. So yeah, any more questions? Thank you so much. A lot of. I'll try and show you a couple of more images if I have time. Not really sure. Any other questions? All right. So thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. Stay safe and take care. Hope to see you soon. Bye bye.